She looked bored, not nervous, not ashamed, just inconvenienced. I watched her carefully, the way you learn to watch people after decades on the bench. Real remorse has weight. It bends the shoulders. It softens the eyes. What I saw in Madison Lark was something else entirely, the quiet confidence of someone who has never truly been told no. I folded my hands and let the silence sit in the room. Silence in a courtroom is powerful. It forces truth to breathe. Finally, I asked the only question that mattered. Miss Lark, do you understand that a man was injured because of your choices? She sighed, like the question itself was exhausting. He's fine, she said. And insurance will cover it. That was the moment the case stopped being about speeding to it became about character. I turned to Tom. His shoulder was still stiff, his fingers gripping that worn folder like it was the last steady thing in his life. He wasn't asking for revenge. He wasn't asking for sympathy, he was asking for fairness, and after 40 years on that bench, I know exactly what fairness looks like. I leaned forward slightly and spoke slowly, so every word would land where it needed to. Miss Lark, money can repair metal, it cannot repair arrogance, and this court deals with more than cars. For the first time, her smile disappeared, and that's when the real hearing began. I'm rich in the things that matter. His voice wasn't loud, it didn't need to be. The room felt different after that, quieter, heavier, like everyone had just been reminded of something simple and true. Madison rolled her eyes again, but the sound of her confidence was gone. Even she could feel the shift. I looked at Tom for a long moment. 41 years old. 2 tours overseas. Working nights so his daughter could breathe easier. Standing there injured, exhausted, and still choosing dignity. Then I looked back at Madison Lark. 22, healthy, privileged, and somehow emptied. In 40 years on the bench, I've learned a hard truth. Of poverty of character is the only poverty the law cannot ignore. I straightened the papers in front of me, not because I needed to, but because moments like this deserve care. Every decision from that chair echoes far beyond the walls of a courtroom. Miss Lark, I said slowly, you had 100 chances this morning to show remorse. One honest sentence could have changed everything. She said nothing. No apology. No regret, just silence, and angered. I nodded once. That was all I needed. Then the court will speak for you. Her lawyer's shoulders tightened. Agent Walsh watched without blinking. Tom held his breath. On the reckless driving charge, I find you guilty. On failure to yield and excessive speed in a hospital safety zone, guilty, and for your conduct in this courtroom, mocking the victim, refusing a lawful order, and attempting to record proceedings for harassment purposes, you are in contempt of court. The words landed like stones in water. No shouting. No drama, just consequence. Madison's face finally changed. Not anger this time, fear, real fear. I continued, calm and steady. You will surrender your license effective immediately. You will pay full restitution for Mr. Grady's vehicle, medical care, and lost wages. You will complete community service at St. Catherine's Hospital, the same halls where he works, so you can learn what real strength looks like. A tear slipped down Tom's cheek. He wiped it away quickly, embarrassed by relief, and regarding the federal investigation, I added, glancing toward Agent Walsh, this court will remand you into custody pending transfer to federal authorities. That was the moment the illusion shattered. No Birkin. No followers. No daddy's phone call, just a young woman standing alone, meeting reality for the first time. The bailiff stepped forward gently, professionally, cold metal cuffs replaced gold buttons and soft leather. Madison finally spoke. Quiet now, please, this will ruin my life. I met her eyes, not with anger, but with something older than anger. No, I said softly, your choices did that. This is simply where the story catches up. She lowered her head for the first time all morning. She was silent. Tom exhaled slowly, like he'd been holding that breath since the crash, and in that quiet courtroom, after 40 years on the bench, I was reminded again of the simplest truth justice has ever taught me. She wasn't asking for respect for her money, she was asking for respect for her life. That simple, fair sentence almost broke my heart, because even then, she still couldn't give it. I reviewed everything again, the report, the data, Tom's estimate, even the social media post. Then I spoke, Ms. Lark, I find you responsible for reckless operation, speeding, and failure to yield. The evidence is overwhelming: vehicle speed data, officer testimony, victim testimony, and your own online admissions. Her lawyer tried one last time. Your Honor, she's prepared to pay damages today. We can settle restitution. Madison lifted her chin as if money could erase shame. Restitution will be ordered, I said. Then I read the total slowly and clearly. $6 for 80.32 plus $1,000 deductible reimbursement plus court costs. Her lawyer nodded quickly. We can pay. Good, I replied. Madison smirked, and that's when I removed the smirk. You will also complete 200 hours of community service. Her smile faded. What? 200 hours at St. Catherine's Hospital. Night shift. You'll empty trash, wipe beds, push carts, without your phone and under supervision. That's insane, she snapped. It's corrective, I answered calmly. And I'm not finished. I ordered her designer bag secured as potential evidence, she screamed, sobbing, not for Tom, but for herself. Then the courtroom doors opened, her father walked in, wealthy, powerful, and suddenly, tired. One look told him everything money couldn't fix. Madison, he said quietly, stop. For the first time in her life, she did. He turned to Tom, I'm sorry you were hurt. Madison protested, but he didn't defend her. He simply accepted the court's order. Reality had finally reached her. I leaned forward, you wanted a viral moment, you got one, but you don't get to choose how you're remembered. If you fail to complete your service, I continued, you will return here in custody. Do you understand? Her voice was barely a whisper. Yes. I looked at Tom, you did everything right. You told the truth and kept your dignity. His eyes filled with tears. I just want my daughter to see that being good still matters. It does, I said. And she will. After the courtroom emptied, I sat alone for a moment, not out of doubt, but respect for the weight of judgment. Justice isn't revenge. It's responsibility. It's teaching consequences before tragedy writes a harsher ending, because arrogance plus speed always leads somewhere dark. Remember this, equality isn't a slogan. It's action. It's dignity over wealth, respect over status, character over image. You can carry luxury and still be empty, you can have fame and still be small, but respect, real respect, costs nothing and means everything, and sometimes, the hardest lesson, is simply learning to see another human being